Damn, sorry, dude. My hotkey is 0, technically. And anyhow, I had text chat open in Ragnarok, and I just had like a string of zeros. And while I was deleting them, I couldn't, hit my hotkey. Anyhow, Tim Pool is a center left journalist. He used to work for Vice. He's worked for a lot of different outlets, and now he's kind of out on he's struck out under his own name. He's got his own little group. I guess you could say. He puts out videos on a daily basis, and anyhow, I think he does other stuff as well. I'm not sure, but he's similar to. It's kind of a mix between Hard Bastard and Styx. He doesn't swear all that much, but it's in video format. He doesn't do it live. At least most of the time he doesn't, from what I understand. He's just got himself down in the bottom left corner, but the main focus is like the article or whatever he's talking about. It's normally article analysis. And so it's kind of similar to Hard Bastard, but I don't know. He's more level-headed and just comes from a less hostile position.
Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to him. I've heard his name before, but I've never listened to him.
He's obviously starting to gain some traction, but I mean, he's not like David Pakman. You know who David Pakman is, right?
No, huh?
David Pakman, very interesting. Are we recording, by the way?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Let's see, the Poe Bastards Almanac, episode 026.
It's starting before we knew it.
That's right.
Yeah. So, just to keep the ball rolling. Oh, David Pakman. Interesting story about him. As far as how I discovered him. Back in the early days of Gamergate, he was one of the very few outlets, at least one of the very few, people with a platform that would give the time of day to the true Gamergate side of the argument. But he'd also bring people that were, accusatory towards, the cis shitlords, and would ask them, not tough questions, but legitimate questions. And most of them would flail and flop around, and dance around. Well, no, but my feels, it's pretty much how it ended up being. And so I really like that about David Pakman. And he seemed to be, very pragmatic about the whole situation. And honestly, I tuned into his show, a live stream, several times. In fact, people in KIA would post whenever he was about to start a stream or something like that. And I forget who he had on. But anyways, that's how I found out about him. This was years ago at this point. And damn, if he isn't on Hard Bastard a good bit because of the bullshit that he's peddling, the whole anti-Trump, Russia horse shit, it's pretty sad to see what he's become. He knows better. David Pakman is smart, but he is just very misguided. I'm sure there are many people probably have, I don't know, a lesser opinion of him. But, I mean, I really don't pay attention to too much he says, but I can tell you I've seen some of his recent content, several segments, and yeah, no bueno, compadre. I'm not exactly buying what he's selling.
Man, I've been playing the shit out of GTA 5. Runs like a dream.
Nice. So, online and all that is acceptable. I mean, it all now, yeah, like social club and all that too. All that work.
Yeah, all that stuff is supposed to work. I haven't tried any of it yet, but yeah, that's what they say. That online mode works just as well as offline mode through Proton.
It's pretty tight, man. I really need to roll back my Arma version. I don't know if you were joking about that the other day or not, but I really do want to do that so you can. It's fucking awesome that you can play that on Linux.
Yeah, and so it's got a native build. The only, I don't think I would be able to run, I don't know. Does Arma 3 use BattleEye?
It does, but it's optional. I don't know if I have it running on my servers or not. It might be optional for me to run it.
Okay.
We still have that private Hamachi server set up as well, so I can run it on that virtual LAN.
Oh, wow. Dude, I fucking forgot all about Hamachi.
Yeah, it's, as far as I know, I closed it down the other day. I've got it set up as a start program. All right.
But yeah, GTA is running fantastic. I mean, the frame rate's excellent. Like, I get very few, stutters and slowdowns. I mean, it did crash on me one time, since I've actually gotten it working well. But, I mean, it is not bad at all. I love it.
Yeah, crashes are acceptable, it's, you don't have a good build unless it's crashing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm thinking about setting up a pie hole in my house just to do, what a pie hole does is it's basically like a network-wide ad blocker. And yeah, it's a black hole for internet advertisements. Network-wide ad blocking.
That sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah. Actually, shit, I could even install it. It's native to Debian, Raspbian, which is the Raspberry Pi OS. Raspbian, Ubuntu. Oh, okay. So yeah, actually my computer that I'm running now, Pi-hole would run on here. I don't even know if I need a dedicated server. Huh. Okay, I need to look into this then. Because, yeah, basically it kind of routes all your traffic through what you set up as a server on your network. And that server ends up blocking all of the ads that come through. And you can set up custom blocks and stuff like that, just as you can with uBlock Origin or something. And except this is going to block ads from your phone that natively you can't, there are no plugins for Chrome on your phone. Which I've been using the Brave browser on my phone, which has built-in, it's a Chromium offshoot, but it's got built-in ad block on it. I cook a lot, and cooking websites are fucking notorious for their pop-up ads and fucking garbage
good
like
God,
that.
I bet so.
Yeah, so I started using Brave all the time. But it's most annoying when I'm trying to like watch YouTube videos, because the YouTube app works a lot better than the YouTube mobile site, of course, obviously. And sometimes I'll bootleg some movies on my phone, and Brave normally takes care of those. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But yeah, having Pi-hole, like, I think it's a little more advanced than like what uBlock Origin would do. Because yeah, it gives you like a web interface and it shows you all the stats and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet. It shows you what devices are trying to pull ads. Yeah, okay. It maintains a log of like queries to different sites. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to dig into this. I wonder if I can put it on my computer here and still use my computer, as a desktop, as opposed to having to route all my, I wonder. Yeah, I just wonder if that would work. I will figure that out and report back on a later episode for sure, though. Because fuck ads, fuck them. That ain't a legitimate way to make no money, man.
I mean, running you through the click and ringer and all that crap, structuring articles in that manner. What a load of shit.
Oh yeah.
That's what I had heard on the street, was that these up and coming internet, quote unquote, news outlets would structure their articles like that to farm clicks up, and they would use those traffic stats to get investors. But it's horseshit.
Yeah.
That's not real traffic.
That's why, like, BuzzFeed's like, 21 things your grandma used to, fucking finger herself to. And instead of giving you one long article, you got to click through all 21 of these things before you realize that it's all fucking bullshit anyway. But now you've given them 21 extra clicks and that many more, like, page views. So yeah, they're artificially boosting their own page view counts. Yeah, for investors, for advertisers and shit like that. That's been going on for a long time. It's crazy.
Total 100% canned, undistilled malarkey, dude. And then you have to lay off your entire opinion division. And it's a freaking human rights tragedy, peddled bullshit. No one really bought it. Ultimately, is what that means.
So the Sun is running an article. I don't know how, fucking words, man, Jesus Christ. I don't know how reputable the Sun is. I mean, just looking at their other articles, not, they're like an entertainment news site, I guess. But anyway, they reported on Russia is going to test turning off their internet to defend against a cyber attack. Like, just as a precaution. I think that's April 1st is when they say it's going to happen. Officials.
Probably some elaborate April Fool's prank. They're fucking Russians and I don't trust them.
Oh my God, you're probably right. Good old April 1st.
But then I think it might be, double reverse psychology. I don't know. Tell you what, we just pulled out of that ballistic missile treaty with them.
Yeah. Yeah, because they've been testing their shit anyway.
Yeah, there's been a lot going down with that. And Trump was finally just like, fuck it. How does that fit in with him being Putin's puppet and being in Putin's pocket?
That shit's all garbage. It's fucking stupid.
really is, man. I just wonder how long they're gonna keep it up. Apparently that congressional committee came back and said we've been digging around for 2 years. We haven't found anything. And I saw where someone said, well, we got to keep in mind that we didn't come across anything that, told us he wasn't. Like, what kind of crock of shit concept is that? What kind of special needs, short bus, nose picking, booger eating fucking statement is that?
I mean, the other day you and I watched through the vast majority of that, it wasn't a Senate hearing, it was just a regular old hearing on acting attorney general. What's the guy's name?
Oh, Whitaker? Was that him?
Yeah, old Whitaker. And he may be out now. But yeah, I mean, dude, everything about that was a fucking horse and pony show. Or dog and pony show, whatever the fuck kind of show they call it. It was a goat fucking show, man. They were just there to fuck goats.
Yeah, that was nothing more than a public spectacle. Nothing happened there. No new information was learned. But the fact that you've got people saying, well, we didn't find any evidence that he's innocent. Well, honestly, that is, how heavy are those goalposts? I mean, I don't, honestly, the more I think about it, now maybe people out in the media and regular jerk-offs, maybe they believe the Russia stuff, but I don't think anyone in elected office that is flying this banner of Russian collusion horseshit. I don't think they actually believe that. I think that is what the wagons need to be circled around because of what Obama and the Democrats were doing in the FISA courts and stuff, with spying. All this is just a huge smoke screen, and they were hoping that they could just inflate the urgency behind these accusations. If they could make it seem of such importance that we need to investigate every area of Donald Trump's business and life to find out if he's been, the puppet of a foreign power. They know Donald Trump, and we do too. He's not a spick and span kind of guy. That's not what we hired him to be. We didn't, elect a freaking pastor. We didn't elect Pastor Trump. He's supposed to, be a freaking hatchet. He went after freaking, Jinping and went after Kim Jong-un, and now the Korean Peninsula is as peaceful as it's been in, lifetimes. And, well, maybe not that long, but somebody's got to be pretty freaking old to, remember peace on that continent, that part of the continent. And anyways, I was on a huge train there. It's just that Russia crap. They were hoping that they could go in and investigate the shit out of Trump and find anything. It doesn't matter if it's Russian collusion or not. If this guy stepped on a crack in the sidewalk back in the 80s, if as long as they can make it seem so bad that, well, he's not a traitor to the nation, but he's dirty, So it was worth looking into.
I wonder if that's why they brought Whitaker in. It's becoming pretty obvious that the Mueller investigation has brought up absolutely nothing. And you notice they're accusing Whitaker of meddling with the investigation, like he's given Trump like he's leaked information to Trump or the officials at the White House.
I think this is that's not, isn't that not setting up what the excuse is going to be?
Yeah.
That Mueller was compromised and all this horse shit.
Yeah.
When eventually, sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
Nah, you're good, dude. You're good. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's what I see happening there. The Democrats were setting up, that to be an excuse. I don't see any other reason why they would keep accusing him of, you've got political bias. You said that this investigation was a crock of shit before you got elected to, before he was elected to Sessions chief of staff, apparently. And then when Sessions went away, Whitaker took the place. And, so now they've accused him of compromising the investigation. And the only, why would they accuse him of that? They must think that the investigation's been compromised, obviously, or they're just setting that up to be an excuse.
Because they have their inside contacts and they know what's going down. There is nobody on that investigatory team that is on Trump's side or on the side of justice, in my opinion. And everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. Everybody saw Strzok and Lisa Page's freaking text messages and everything, and the context to it and everything. That those weren't doctored transmissions. And it's just, this has been crooked from the start. And honestly, I do not think Donald J. Trump would draw so much attention to this investigation if he didn't know that he was 100% clean as a freaking whistle. There's a lot of things that Trump probably knows that nobody else does. And because see, no one gets to see Trump's hand. That's the thing here. Nobody knows what he knows. As in, nobody knows what he's privy to. I guess that's a better way to say that. No one gets to see Trump's hand. No one gets to know the cards in his hand except him. And he knows this, and what a position of power that is. And he already knows what the first move of the opposition is going to be, whatever the opposite freaking direction he's moving. And anyhow, things are definitely coming to a head, and this Russia narrative is getting tired. It's getting really tired, and we're about to see a Democrat primary field form, and they've got to have something else other than Russia. They really do. I mean, it's tax time. People are, and this horse shit that, tax returns are lower this year than in years past. Yeah, well, paychecks were also a lot freaking bigger this year than they were in years past. Uncle Sugar wasn't getting their hands on the money to give it back. So you can fuck right off with that line of logic.
Yeah.
We got presidential candidates trying to peddle that bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Don't insult my intelligence. For fuck's sake, that's so condescending.
God, it's
and
so
people
funny.
People just lap it up.
How do you pronounce Strzok? Is that
Strzok? Yeah, I guess Strzok, Stroke, Strizok. I've heard a lot of different pronunciations. I don't think anyone really cares, and they just try to say the goofiest one just to piss people off.
Let's see.
That man looks like the devil.
Strizok. All right, Peter. So, anyway, this Russian guy. Yeah, dude, I completely forgot all about that. That's how deep this rabbit hole goes. Is that one of the very first lead investigators in the Mueller probe was fucking anti-Trump. And now they're trying to accuse Whitaker of that same shit. Like, this is how many years later? How many years ago was this? Was this 2
This
years
has
ago?
been going on since, I'm pretty sure since Trump took office.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it did not start, it wasn't before that, because before that it was, hey, Mitt, the 1980s called and they want their foreign policy back. It's not rigged, you're just losing Trump.
Wait, is this an election year? Did we vote this year?
No, the midterms were back in November. Now the Democrat field for 2020 is starting to form. Who is going to get into that ring with the gladiator known as God Emperor of the United States, Donald J. Trump?
So we're going to vote in 20 for a 2021 inauguration? No, it's a 20 inauguration, isn't it?
I think in 2020 it's hold on a second, let me pull up this person. Yeah, it came back the same thing. Anyways, I think in November of 2020 we decide whether or not to elect Donald Trump for a second.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Because he went in 17? Must have.
16.
It was 16? When did he got inaugurated in 17, though?
That's right.
Yes, he's been president for 2 years now. Okay, yeah, I didn't think it'd been 3 years. Jesus, okay, so this Mueller probe's been going on. Let's see.
Awful lot of time to dig around, man. It's cost a lot of freaking money, too.
Let's see what Wikipedia says about Peter Strzok. Blah, 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 blah. He was the chief of the counter-espionage section. He led FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a personal email server. Oh, how about that? And he was pro-Hillary. He thought Hillary should win the election. Oh, wow. June and July of 17, he worked on Mueller's special counsel investigation. He was removed when Mueller became aware of criticisms of Trump containing personal text messages. Oh, yeah, but he wasn't removed from fucking Hillary's goddamn campaign. Or whatever. Fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Texts critical of Mr. Trump represent a fraction of 7,000 messages, which show no evidence of a conspiracy against Mr. Trump. Whatever.
Yeah, what a crock. I have yet to read the transmissions where they're talking about, sticking things in each other's butts, because I was told that they were, that Strzok was cheating on his freaking wife. I remember when Louis Gohmert called that son of a bitch out about it.
Mm-hmm.
That I wonder, Louis Gohmert, he said, Mr. Strizza, Louis Gohmert has a very distinctive
he does.
Voice. And anyways, he said something to the effect of, I want, if you could look into your wife's eyes and lie about Lisa Page, I wonder what else you're lying about. So I'm like,
damn.
Dude, you could hear oh my gosh, like the Democrats in the room were guffawing and booing. Which really, it was a low blow. That was for a sound bite.
Yeah, it was, yeah, obviously.
Did anything really come of that? Not really, not yet. Still waiting. The little skeleton on the park bench, Any day now, somebody will fucking go to jail for this horse shit.
Well, they keep naming all the people that have been, indicted, and what happened to all those Russians that were indicted?
Who knows? I mean, who really gives a shit? It was on Facebook. Who the fuck cares about Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
The average age of the Facebook user just keeps going up.
Yep.
It's going to shit the bed soon enough. I got off that Facebook bullshit a hot minute ago. And you were a hot minute ago.
Yeah, fuck all that shit.
Good riddance to it. But no, I don't think anybody in their right mind truly believes this Russian nonsense. They were just hoping and praying whatever liberal deity they pray to, that they could find just something on the guy.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so there's officers of Russia's military intelligence service. They were charged with crimes relating to hacking and leaking of the Democrats' emails. They were charged. Were they tried?
No, I don't think they'll ever come over here to be tried. They'll never extradite.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well have fucking indicted fucking Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah, but that was purely symbolic. It was to get, thank God we found somebody, with ski on the end of their name. Good God. I mean, weren't there? They were just trying to sow freaking discord. I mean, for God's sake, did they not find some people meddling with Black Lives Matter and a few other organizations? So I thought that was the case. They were doing it to both sides. But why the hell would they want you to know it was happening to both sides? Because A, it's completely against the narrative, and B, it makes them look like jackasses for jumping at anybody, willing to hand out a check to them. About to drop my joint.
Oof. Dude, I've been smoking joints lately. I've never, I've always used glass. The poor bastard's drug corner over here, man. I've used glass for a long time, but lately I picked me up a pack of rolling papers. I like them.
Yeah, it's not too bad, man.
I don't know. Last night I was sitting here playing GTA, had a joint hanging out of my mouth, screaming down the streets of Los Santos or whatever. Oh man, it was a good time. Yeah, it was. And that's what's so great about that game, is that, like, you can get all fucked up and just go, like, tearing ass across the landscape, blow up everything you got, kill everybody, get killed, and then, wake up the next day and, like, none of it ever happened. Just continue on along on your missions like normal.
Dude, I like just driving around. Mm-hmm. I mean, following traffic.
That's what I was doing last night, yeah. I think I did like one mission. I'm like 3 missions into the whole game, It's really, just kind of taking my time with it. I do need to dig in a little further, so I'll eventually beat it again, because I love the story in this game. Like, all their games have pretty good stories, except for GTA 4.
Yeah, I forgot you finished the story. I never did.
I hadn't touched much of anything else lately. I need to try, so I think I reported in the last episode that Steam now allows you to force, like custom, or to force versions of Proton onto games. And it'll let you know if Steam recommends a version, else, you get to pick. And even for native Linux builds, you can choose to forego that, and I hope that word means what I think it does, and play the Windows version via Proton. Because a lot of times, users are reporting much better success with the Windows version than the Linux version, even through a Windows, compatibility layer. So I need to try that with ATS, just so I can start playing that game again. I hadn't had a whole lot of time to mess with it, though. I got GTA up and running, so I'm pretty happy playing this for a while. But that's kind of why I quit playing Euro Truck Sim, is, I don't know, probably because of GTA 5. Man, did I ever tell you, so this is unrelated to most things we talk about, but, it goes along with our overall mantra. I started using a while back now when I started getting into like Bitcoins and the darknet and stuff. I started using KeePass X to manage my passwords for pretty much everything. And I'm really, really enjoying it. It will randomly generate passwords for you. So you just keep one single secure password, and you can change it as often as you want, of course. And like for me personally, I've got it backed up to my Google Drive. And I can access that with my phone, with any computer. I can update it, and it will stay, synced across all my devices. And it's pretty easy to use. You just pop open the database, type in your password, go to whatever entry you need, like, for my Gmail account. You open it up, you just click the copy to password, and you can just paste the password right into wherever you need it. And supposedly it tries to clear your clipboard for you so it doesn't keep your password stored in your clipboard. Or, you can just unhide the password and type it in manually. But it works pretty well. I feel a lot more secure because I have had some of my passwords leaked to the internet before. I don't know how. You can check that stuff. I think it's Have I Been Pwned? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah, haveibeenpwned.com tells you, you just give it an email address, and it'll tell you, whoops, you've been pwned from Dailymotion, from Dropbox had an exploit in 2012. Discuss had one in October of 17. Fucking Imgur in September of 13. Fucking MySpace. Fucking all kinds of shit, man. But then it also goes on to tell you, like, there's some pastes. Like, sometimes, like, there's just public lists of passwords that go out. And, like, some of them are public. Like, there's one of them that's still public. Got my email address and an old ass password on there. It's pretty crazy, though. I mean, back in the day, a good 15 years ago, you used to be able to find password lists, like for porn sites or shit. You could find credit card lists and shit like that. Man, the internet used to be fucking wild. It still kind of is, but not like it used to be. We'll see if rotten.com is still a thing. Doesn't look like it. RIP. Yeah, that's crazy. Rotten.com doesn't exist anymore. It was active until 2012. Okay. Yeah, you used to be able to look at dead people and shit. Okay, a site went down in November of 2018. That's crazy. Yeah, man, surfing the internet in fucking 19 whatever. In the late 1900s was a hell of a time. I imagine the darknet's still kind of that same way. I need to really dig into the darknet more. I haven't done much of that at all lately. I used to, I don't know, 6 years ago or so. But not so much anymore. I hadn't really bothered with it. Man, have you looked into Ocasio-Cortez's fucking Green Deal piece of shit?
No, I have not given that trash the time of day. It deserves to be mocked. That was just no bridges across the ocean. No, thank you.
Apparently, fucking Mitch McConnell's gonna bring it up for a vote on the Senate floor.
That's hilarious. He's gonna get people on the record. You're either for this absolute and utter idiocy, or you vote against it and you slap this child down hard. Because see, look, this is the way I see it. And of course, any criticism of her means that you hate women, you hate vaginas, and that, it just sticks in your craw that there's just like a strong, independent woman in a position of power. No, actually, I don't have a problem with that. Thing is that, so she sniped Crowley, who had been a 10-term congressman. So, look, she mobilized. How big is her district? Okay, not all that big, man. She mobilized a very small portion of her district because Crowley wasn't even paying attention. I mean, he didn't show up for the debates. He sent, a lackey in his stead. He totally dismissed her and got shellacked, schlonged, if you will. And anyhow, that's you can only mount a sneak attack once. Alexandria, Miss Alexandria, she pulled off the feint and the backstab, dude. I mean, that's what this was. That was a perfect maneuver and political win. I'll give her that. That, I don't think that she had the resources to play that dirty. She won that shit fair and square. But it does not, it just does not look like she is long for this world, politically speaking, the way she has been conducting herself and what's been going on. This is horrific, man. It's horrific. They sent out a message with the clapping, with the Democrats clapping when Trump said that America's not going to be a socialist country. They panned to Bernie, but really they should have panned to old Alexandria, because that's the young pusher of it right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's just the Democrats' answer to Trump, because she's mouthy. She's offensive. She's
but there's
whatever.
Such a small amount of people that are responsible for putting her into the national spotlight. People are acting like there's some huge following behind her. There's a lot of people that acknowledge her.
Her cousin did own Pokemon Snap when she was growing up.
That is just so cringy, man. It's so cringy. And I mean, like I said earlier, you only get the sneak attack once. Somebody is going to pour money into your opposition in the next 2 years, and you'll probably never see politics ever again. And they're going to go by the wayside, just like every supposed titan that's going to take on Trump. It's really going to, I don't know. She's young, and she is exacerbating a divide in the Democrat Party. And Mitch, this is the first I've heard of Mitch McConnell wanting to bring that up. I think that's an excellent idea, because there's no way in hell that would.
Well, they note that whenever he did this in July of 2017, they forced a vote on the single-payer healthcare system, and the Democrats just voted present. They didn't even vote for it. So yeah, I mean, it's just but it's still a way for hey, put your fucking money where your mouth is. Let's vote for this thing. Hey, this is your big plan. Let's go for it.
She's either gonna get steamrolled in the next 2 years politically, or she's gonna utterly sell out.
Let's see, it's a pretty small human activity is the dominant cause of observed climate change over the past century. Climate change is causing sea levels to rise and an increase in wildfires, severe storms, droughts, other extreme weather events that threaten human life, healthy communities, critical infrastructure. Global warming at or above 2 degrees Celsius beyond pre-industrialized levels will cause mass migration from the regions most affected by climate change, more than $500 trillion lost in economic output by the U.S. by the year 2100. Wildfires by 2050 will annually burn at least twice as much of a forest area. A loss of 99% of all coral reefs on the earth. 350 million more people to be exposed globally to deadly heat stress by 2050. A risk of damage to $1 trillion of public infrastructure and coastal real estate. Global temperatures must be kept below 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrialized levels to avoid the most severe impacts. Global reductions in greenhouse gas emissions 40 to 60% by 2030, and net zero emissions by 2050. Yeah, I mean, this is just... The U.S. is currently experiencing several related crises, life expectancy declining, while basic needs, blah, 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 are inaccessible. A 4-decade trend of economic stagnation, deindustrialization, anti-labor policies. Yeah, no shit. Thanks, NAFTA. Thanks, minimum wage. Overall, and of course, instead of acknowledging that the fucking trade deals and the minimum wage and all the economic policies that we have done are the reasons for this stagnation, she's proposing we just, double down on it. Hourly wages stagnating since the 70s, third worst level of socioeconomic mobility, the erosion of earning and bargaining power, inadequate resources for the public sector workers, greatest income inequality, with the top 1% of earners accruing 91% of gains, large racial wealth divide, a gender earnings gap, of course. Oh yeah, here we go. So that's it right there. That's yep. You got to pay black people more money. You got to pay women more money, and that's going to fix climate change, dude. That's going to keep the sea levels down, dude.
Well, the thing is, if you could get away with paying ladies less, why the fuck would you hire a male?
Shit.
I mean, honestly, that's it.
Yeah, if it's all about the profit. So is it about the profit or is it not about the profit?
It's all about that money, dude. It is all about that money.
That's what they claim.
Otherwise, you're pissing in the wind.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, right. That's capitalism. That's the, businesses put the capital in capitalism. Fuck.
And the ones that don't adhere to it, the Panera Bread's little pay what you can.
Oh, yeah.
Their last little location is closing down. I wonder why. That's
crazy. That is crazy. I can't believe she snuck that in there. What does that have to do?
What where?
What does this have to do with fucking wildfires and rising sea levels? Whereas, because the United States has historically been responsible for a disproportionate amount of greenhouse gas emissions, having emitted 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions through 2014, and has a high technological capacity, the U.S. must take a leading role in reducing emissions through economic transformation. Yeah,
we beat out everybody for emissions this past year. For folks that signed that gay Paris Accord.
Yeah.
We had less emissions than they did.
Oh, here we go. The federal government-led mobilizations during World War II and the New Deal created the greatest middle class the U.S. has ever seen. So she wants to create millions of good, high-wage jobs in the United States, provide unprecedented levels of prosperity and economic security for all people, counteract systemic injustices. Now, therefore, be it resolved that it is this, in the sense of the House of Reps, that it's the duty of the federal government to create a Green Nude Eel to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions, create millions of good high-wage jobs, invest in the infrastructure, secure for all people, clean air and water, climate and community resiliency, healthy food, access to nature, sustainable environment, and promote justice and equity by stopping current, preventing future, and repairing historic oppression of indigenous communities, communities of color, migrant communities, deindustrialized communities, depopulated rural communities, the poor, low-income workers, women, the elderly, the unhoused, people with disabilities, and youth, referred to in this resolution as frontline and vulnerable communities. The goals described in paragraphs A through E, blah, 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 should be accomplished through a 10-year national mobilization that will require the following goals and projects. Build resiliency, dude. Oh my god, this is fucking... Yeah, this is a shitty high school term paper, dude. This is a piece of shit, man.
100%. No hiss, canned malarkey. I know that's a cornball thing to say, but honestly, it's pie in the sky horseshit. This on the back of that 70% marginal tax rate horse crap. You would have to monkey with the lower tax brackets so much. You would only be complicating things further.
Bill Burr ripped her a new one over that today on the podcast.
Oh wow, I missed that.
Yeah. He didn't name her, but he talks about the 70% taxing of of wealthy. And he's like, who the fuck is going to vote for that? He's like, this cunt, she's going to, in a few years, her net worth's going to be hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, she's going to be a millionaire just like the rest of them.
Well, see that's the deal. That's the deal. She either sells out and does just that, or she's gonna get hosed. She'll be out of politics. She will fall to whatever the money is able to conjure up on the other side.
Oh yeah, she'll go on some speaking tours. She'll write some books, man. That's what they do. I mean, she's got no other skills. Apparently her mom cleans houses for a living.
And God bless her. God bless her. I know a lot of people that do that, and they're honorable folk.
Dude, yeah, for sure. Her mom's actually working a job.
Yeah. Yeah. That's more than a lot of folk. But that has absolutely nothing to do with your daughter's absolutely poor economic and domestic policy views. Oh, it's just...
The New Deal was not a great deal for the U.S. I mean, it stimulated the economy for a while, and it provided us some valuable infrastructure. Well,
look, technology was only like that once. That was such a unique period in time for the way that technology lined up the way that World War II shook out, the way that economics shook out after World War II, and the diplomatic power that we had on the world stage, and the trust maybe in the government. Because if I'm not mistaken, FDR, they kept him in office for the duration of the war. Did they not?
Yeah, he had
So what a unique figure. And there was just so many. I don't. Somebody looking at the decisions that were made and the economic effects, I think people just get the extrapolate the wrong message from that. That yeah, it worked then. There was a lot that was different back then. We are worlds away from where we were back then.
So we, won World War II. He started the New Deal because World War II happened during his third term. But we entered World War II because we were provoked. And we won World War II. We haven't won a war since World War II, really. It's just been constant war just for the sake of pouring money into the military-industrial complex.
That is pretty much the truth. I will just say that the United States and Russia are the two big powers to come out of World War II, and that's where you get Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall. Because we split Germany in half, and the Soviets had half of Berlin, and the West had the other half. Because that's just how it shook out after World War II. And anyhow, just technology and politics led us to killing people of different nations and losing lives, young American lives. I don't know how I feel about all that stuff. And honestly, I think to truly have an educated opinion, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with the United States going to Vietnam. I didn't think we gained anything from that. We lost so much. As with most military engagements, I'm starting to look at things through a little different lens these days. And closer that I scrutinize things, the less inclined I am to support doing what we did. We should not be in Syria right now. I agree with President Trump trying to withdraw from Syria. Apparently, there are a lot of warmongers in the Senate, Democrats and Republicans alike.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't believe that. Why the fuck are we not bringing our guys home?
Man, that's crazy. I can't believe, everything that the New Deal introduced vast amounts of debt, it seems, and vast amounts of socialism into the United States.
It was expansive. It was different than anything that had happened up until that point in time. And what it did was set precedent. It set precedent, and it's what every government loving, liberal looks to. That's the big bang of dipshit liberalism these days, of having the government get involved with aspects of the economy. Because during the war, the whole way that our country worked, because holy crap, we were sending a whole bunch of people overseas to 2 different freaking fronts. And good God, the ladies had to work factory jobs because technology at the time required that we needed to, Rosie the Riveter this shit and produce a whole bunch of freaking war machines to go fight an objectively evil force in the world. So again, there was just a lot of unique factors there. And the Marshall Plan afterwards, we were sending money to Europe, rebuilding Europe. And that, that's why they can, these shitheads can get away with saying, well, the U.S. has a responsibility to take the lead. Really, it's only when it's, the U.S. is only number one and up top and has some kind of leadership, mantle that it's draped in when you want it to head in a certain direction. America they don't hold America in any kind of true high regard. But, when we have a responsibility to, take the country in a direction that I believe it should go in.
I really need to find a good, long video or podcast on the New Deal and everything that the New Deal did. Because, I understand the economy was a piece of shit back then. But, phew. Yeah, we're looking at, holy shit, dude. Fiscal policy, banking reform, monetary reform, Securities Act of 33, the repeal of prohibition, public works, farm and rural programs. And then the second New Deal gave us Social Security, labor relations, works progress administration, tax policy. In 1935, Roosevelt called for a tax program called the Wealth Tax Act to redistribute wealth. The bill imposed an income tax of 79% on incomes over $5 million, which only covered one person, John D. Rockefeller.
Is that literally what it fucking says?
Yep.
It's literally what that says.
That's it.
Damn.
That was the only person that bill would have made any difference for. Well, until the banking and monetary reforms, fucked inflation to the point where everybody's a $5 billionaire. That's a lot of shit, man. That's a lot of shit. Yeah, I'm not convinced that the New Deal was a great... I think that's where a lot of our problems come from today. Is that all the regulations set in place by the New Deal. I realize it jump-started the economy and it was good for, a while. Through, World War II and onward.
Look, let me tell you what. If illegal immigrants from Mexico were going to vote Republican, there would be... Oh my gosh, there would be rallies in Kumbaya circles telling you about how there are shovel-ready jobs in the building of a wall. how it is just so moral to get those shovel-ready jobs out there, to build that wall, to keep those Republican voting illegal immigrants. There is an alternate plane where that's happening right now.